The ANC National Working Committee is in Cape Town to assess the structures of the ANC in the Western Cape. Senzo Mchunu is also in attendance despite being placed on special leave from his role in government. Mbalula says the step-aside rule only applies to people who are criminally charged.
President have put Senzo aside with immediate effect. Argue the question of how that has happened, but is aside. We've got an acting minister who's chairing the meeting inside. And I've explained to you, and I'm repeating it again, that Senzo will not step aside in relation to the ANC as an elected member. And he's got an opportunity now, in terms of the Audi principle, to also state the side of the story, of his story. Now, once we listen to that, it is also evaluated in terms of facts by a competent, independent judge and a panel, judicial commission, like the president have appointed. Then we can pass judgment. Let's allow the process to follow.
Mbalula says critics must not expect shortcuts in determining the veracity of the allegations against Mchunu. He says the Commission of Inquiry, appointed by the President, will give reports and recommendations every 3 months. He is unfazed by the Constitutional Court's challenge, questioning the decision to place Mchunu on special leave.
What the president has done to process the allegations that were made is the correct thing to do by a sitting president in a constitutional democracy, which is what President Ramaphosa has done, and that's what we as the ANC support. That what has been raised by the general is now receiving full attention and is being attended to.
The ANC NWC will take stock of the structures of the ANC in the Western Cape.
We are currently processing those reports, and tomorrow the working committee will meet to reflect on the reports and charting the way forward to strengthen our organization here in the province.
Meanwhile, Mbalula says they will engage members of the Government of National Unity to ensure that the departmental budgets are passed successfully in Parliament on Wednesday. Ulelani Philip, SABC News, Cape Town.
Mbalula on why Senzo Mchunu will not step aside amid serious allegations. ANC Secretary-General Fikile Mbalula on Sunday defended the party against criticism that it has selectively applied its step-aside rule when it comes to the allegations raised against former Minister Senzo Mchunu, who was placed on a leave of absence by President Cyril Ramaphosa. Mbalula addressed the media during a short break at the ANC's National Working Committee, NWC, meeting with the Provincial Executive Committee at the Cape Sun Hotel at the weekend. The meeting forms part of the ANC's ongoing efforts to strengthen its organizational capacity and engage directly with structures of the movement across regions and districts. Mchunu, who was also present at the ANC's NWC meeting, faces allegations of corruption and malfeasance following bombshell revelations from KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Nlanhla Mkhwanazi. However, he was not asked to step aside. The ANC has previously said it welcomed Ramaphosa's decision to establish a judicial commission of inquiry to probe the allegations against Mchunu. However, there were some senior members of the party who questioned the effectiveness of the step-aside rule, saying it only applied to some. The rule requires members of the party who are facing serious allegations to step aside from their positions. The rule has seen some ANC officials having to vacate office until they were cleared of any wrongdoing. A senior member said there was unhappiness among some members in Luthuli House because some felt Ramaphosa was selective in the application of the step-aside rule. Mbalula said there is no such thing as selective application of the step-aside rule. He said once members are arrested or appear in court, then the rule is applied. When last did you see people supporting each other going to court with ANC t-shirts? You get arrested, you stand on your own. Step-aside rule applies. Those who vulgarize things shamelessly will say that the rule doesn't apply to Senzo Mchunu, but the president did put him aside with immediate effect. Argue the question of how that has happened, but he is aside. We've got an acting minister, Gwede Mantashe, who is chairing the meeting today. I've explained, and I'm repeating it again today. Senzo will not step aside in relation to the ANC. He is an elected member. He's got an opportunity now, in terms of the Audi Alterum Partem principle, to also state his side of the story. Once we listen to that, it is also evaluated in terms of facts by a competent, independent judge and a judicial commission like the president appointed, then we can pass judgment. Let's allow the process to follow. This is what all South Africans look forward to. The principle of our jurisprudence allows that somebody's story must also be listened to, and if there is any wrongdoing by him, the ANC, in terms of its renewal process, this kicks in, Mbalula said. There are many ANC members who stepped aside, who have appeared in court, who have been arrested. We are the only party in South Africa that practices things even beyond the jurisprudence. Even Magashule failed to challenge the step-aside rule. Mbalula referred to former ANC Secretary-General Ace Magashule, who went to court to overturn his suspension for failing to step aside after being criminally charged. It was affirmed by the Constitutional Court that there was nothing unconstitutional about the step-aside rule because it is entrenched in the ANC Constitution itself. There is nothing like selective justice and selective application of the step-aside rule. If you are arrested, you appear before the courts, even before you appear. Once you are arrested, you step aside. Mbalula also touched on how the NWC's visit to the Western Cape structure is their fifth in a series of visits to provinces, as they seek to strengthen their organizational branches in the region. Ramaphosa was in the Boland region on Saturday as part of their efforts. All of us were in different regions of the province. We interacted with branches that gave us reports, and we are currently processing those reports. On Monday, the working committee will meet to reflect on the reports and chat on the way forward to strengthen our organization here in the province. Like and subscribe for more. Thanks.